We begin now on the top of Daf Lamed Amid Beis Maseches Brachos. This is Berachos Daf 30b. We're discussing now what Shmuel did in Nahardai, the question of whether or not a person says Musaf when there is a tzibur already saying Musaf. Is the person pater? So he said, "B'Nahardai in Nahardai levar me'ahu yuma." I never said Tfilas Musaf when I was in Nahardai because there was a tzibur there, except for one day. Da'asa Pulmas of the Malka, that was when the troops of the king came, Lamasa to the city. Be'achridu Rabbanan v'lo tzalu. The Rabbanan were very bothered. There was no congregation. V'tzali li b'yachid. So I davened b'yachidus Tfilas Musaf v'hava yachid shelo b'chavrir, because I had the status of a yachid, not in the presence of a congregation. So you see that Shmuel did like this. Shmuel only davened Musaf when there was not a congregation in the city davening Musaf. Yosef Rabbi Chanina Kara Kamei de Rabbi Yana v'Yosef v'Kamar. Rabbi Chanina was sitting. He was reading in front of Rabbi Yana. He said as follows: Halacha Rabbi Yehuda Shamar Misham Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The halacha is in fact like Rabbi Yehuda, who says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah that you don't have to say Musaf if there's a tzibur saying Musaf. Amar Lei said, Pokra Karech Livra. Go read that outside. The ain halacha Rabbi Yehuda Shamar Misham Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Amar Rabbi Yochanan said, Ani Ra'isias Rabbi Yana that Sali v'Hadar Sali. I saw Rabbi Yana be Yechidus, and he davened again. So it seems to be that he davened Musaf even be Yechidus. It's a proof. Amar Le Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabbi Zeira. So Rabbi Yirmiyah said to Rabbi Zeira, V'dilma mei kar lo chivin daite. Ulevasov chivin daite. How do you know? Maybe initially he didn't have kavana, and then at the end he had kavana. Maybe it had nothing to do with the fact that he was davening Musaf. He was davening Shachris twice. Amar Le said to him, Chazi man gavra rabba to kamasada. Look at the great person you're testifying about. Do you think that Rabbi Zeir? Do you think that Rabbi Yanai would daven without kavana? Gemara now continues at the two dots. Rabbi Ami and Ravasi, Alpha Gav Dehavid Lahu Tleisar Bekanishta B'Tveria, even though they had 13 shuls in Tveria, Lo Hava Matzlu Elabene Amudi Heicha Dehavigarsi. They only davened between the pillars in which they learned. Itmar it was said, Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdima Mishum Rabbeinu Amar Halacha Rabbi Yehuda She'amar Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdima said in the name of Rabbeinu that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Rabbi Chia bar Abba Tzoli v'Hadar Tzoli. Rabbi Chia bar Abba one time he davened and then he immediately davened again. Amar le Rabbi Zeir. Rabbi Zeir said to him, my time of in Marhachi, why are you davening twice? If it's because you didn't have kavana, a person should always evaluate himself. If he can have kavana, he should daven. If not, he shouldn't daven. So you shouldn't daven the first time if you weren't going to have kavana. Rather, Deloit Karmar, the Reish Yarcha, must be you forgot to say the Yalav V'Yav of Rosh Chodesh, and that's why you had to daven again. V'Atanya, but we learned in a Brayso, Tavalo Hizker Shol Rosh Chodesh Ba'arvis. If a person made a mistake and didn't say Rosh Chodesh in Ma'ariv Ein Machzirna, so he doesn't have to go back. Memnei Sheyachol Omer B'Shachris, he can still say it again. Shachris, B'Shachris Ein Machzirna, so Memnei Sheyachol Omer B'Musafin. Shachris, he doesn't have to go back because he can say it in Musaf. B'Musafin Ein Machzirna, so Memnei Sheyachol Omer B'Mincha. Musaf, he doesn't have to go back because he can say it in Mincha. In other words, according to this opinion, this Brayso, you don't have to repeat Shemoneh Esrei for missing Yalav Yavo because you'll get it in the next tefillah. So he said, Amar Lei said to him, Lavitmar Allah Rabbi Yochanan B'tzibur Shani. He said, no, regarding that issue, that halacha was only said B'tzibur. When a person is in a congregation, then he doesn't have to repeat the Shemoneh Esrei, but otherwise he would. Rashi explains here, why is it different with the tzibur? De'in ma'achzir mishum deshamalei mishlech tzibur. Because if you're davening b'tzibur, you'll hear it again in the Chazor Hashatz. V'ika miktzas haskara, there's a little bit of a haskara of Rosh Chodesh. But since I was b'yachidus, that's why he needed to go back. Ubahag mefarish law b'shatz, the b'shliach tzibur. The Bahag says we're talking. It doesn't mean that you're in a congregation. It means you are the shliach tzibur. Mishum tircha de tzibura, because we don't make a chazan go back because it's a tircha for the tzibur. Aval yachid hadar, but an individual should repeat. So the two opinions of what it means b'tzibur shana. The Gemara now says that the two dots, Kama Yisha bein Tefillah l'Tefillah. So how much does a person have to wait between Shemoneh Esrei? Let's say a person has to say Shemoneh Esrei again. How much time should he wait in order to recover his mind so that he can have the proper intention? Rav Huna and Rav Chisda was a machlokas between Rav Huna and Rav Chisda. Chad Amar Kadesha Tischonein Daito Olav, V'chad Amar Kadesha Tischol Daito Olav. Both of these mean the same thing. It's just a question of which language you use. But both ideas is a person has to give himself enough time so that he can have a proper settled mind. Man Damar Kadesha Tischol. The one who uses the word tischonein, we see the word veschanon used to refer to davening. The word vayachel refers to Moshe davening. Amar Ravanon, Amar Rav. Ravanon says the name of Rav. Tavlo Hizker Shel Rosh Chodesh Arvis Ein Machzirno. So if a person makes a mistake and doesn't say Yalav Yavo and Ma'ariv, he doesn't have to go back. Lefisha Ein Bezin Mekachin, it's a Chodesh Alabiyam, because when is Kiddush HaChodesh done? It's done during the daytime. It is not done at night. Amar Amemar Neymar says mistaber mils derav v'chodesh mole. It's mistaber that this is true only in a full month, presumably because then you'll have the second night ma'ariv to say Yalav Yava v'chodesh chazer, but in a 1 day Rosh Chodesh machzirno, so then he would have to repeat because it's the only ma'ariv that there's going to be. Amar le Rav Ashi la Neymar, so Rav Ashi said to Neymar, Mechli, let us see. Rav time Rav gave us a reason. It had nothing to do with a second ma'ariv. The reason that Rav gave us was because they're not mekadesh the chodesh at night. Mali chaser or mali mole. What's the difference if it's a chodesh chaser or chodesh mole? Rather, it makes no difference. Instead, it does not matter if a person misses a Yalav Yavo in ma'ariv of ma'ariv on Rosh Chodesh, doesn't have to go back. Hadron aloch tfilas hashachar. So that is the conclusion of Perak Tfilas Hashachar, the fourth parak of Maseches Brachos. If you'd like to support these videos, please see the description box below and please subscribe. Mishnah now continues in the fifth parak of Maseches Brachos. Ein omdim lespalel ela mitoch kovid rosh. A person should only stand and daven from kovid rosh. He should be in a state, in a serious state. Chasidim harishonim hayushoin shah achas. The original early Chasidim, they used to wait 1 hour. Umispalel, and then they would daven kadei sheyechavnu libam laaviyim shabbat shamayim. That allowed them to have the proper kavana, so they had to get in the proper state of mind, and it took them an hour before davening. Afilo hamelech shol b'shalom v'lo yeshivenu. The Mishnah now continues. Even if a king asks him how he's doing, he should not answer. Even if there's a snake around his heel, he shouldn't interrupt the davening. That's the kind of concentration the person should have. The Gemara now says, Minoahani mili. Where do we know this from? We learn from Chana. It says she had a bitter soul. So you see, she davened mitoch kovid rosh. The Gemara says, Mimai, how do you know? Dilma Chana shani. Maybe Chana was different. The Havas Marira Livatuva, she had a very bitter heart. So she's an exception. So Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina says from here, Again, you see David HaMelech davened with this kind of yira. The Gemara says again, how do you know? Dilma David Shani, Dav Mitzar Nafshe, Baracham Etuv, also David HaMelech, maybe he was Mitzar himself with a lot of Rachamim when he davened. Rather, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says from here, Ishtachavu Lashem Bahadras Kodesh Al Tikri Bahadras Ela Becherdas, from the word Charada, trembling. A person should approach Shemoneh Esrei. Gemara says, how do you know? Dilma Liola Memelach Hadras Mamish. Maybe you don't read it Cherdas, maybe you read it Hadras. Ki Had Rav Yehuda have a Mitzayin Nafshe V'Odamatz. He always made sure he looked appropriate, dressed appropriate before he was davening. That's a Hadras, the idea of Hadras Ponim. Ella Omer of Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Rather, of Nachman Bar Yitzchak says Mehacha from here. Ivdu es Hashem b'yira, serve Hashem b'yira. That's tefillah. Should be b'yira v'gilu b'rada. The pasuk finishes. You should celebrate with trembling. My v'gilu b'rada. What does that mean? Omer of Adav Armas Omer Rabba. Rav Adav Armas says the name of Rabba. B'makom gila. Even in times of rejoicing, Sham Teirada, there should be a certain trembling, a certain fear. Abaya have a Yosef Kamei de Rabba. Abaya was sitting in front of Rabba. Chazia de have a kabodach tu. He saw he's laughing. He was laughing a lot. Amar v'gilu b'rada. He said, well, where's the rada? Where's the trembling? Amar Lei said to him, I'm not tefillin menachna. I'm wearing tefillin. A person's wearing tefillin. It testifies that it's like an edus, that the person's that the authority of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is over him. Rav Yirmiyah have a Yosef Kami de Rav Zera. Rav Yirmiyah was sitting in front of Rav Zera. Chazia dahavik kabadach tuv. A similar story. He saw that he was laughing a lot. He was rejoicing a lot. Amar Lei said, Bechol etzev yeh moser. He says the darshaning here, but there should be some sadness. The simple pshat of the pasuk is when a person toils, there's going to be extra. He'll have fruits of his labor. So ksiv, isn't that what it says in the pasuk? A person should be sad, not celebrating so much. Amar Lei said the same answer. I'm not tefillin manachna. I am wearing tefillin. Mar breid de Ravina avad hilula levrei. The Mar, the son of Ravina, made a wedding for his son. Chazinu l'rabbanan dehava kabad chituva. The rabbi saw that he was overly celebrating, and the Gemara will continue on Daf Lamed Aleph with this story.